Okay, someone else over there had a suggestion as to why we have detrivores. Can anyone think of another reason? Yeah?
They are Earth's cleaners.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't they like decompose somehow?
We're going to look into decomposers in just a minute. That's the second part of this section. What would happen if we didn't have detrivores? Yeah.
It'd be tons of dead animals.
Okay. Yeah.
There'd be a lot more bugs.
A lot more.
There'd be lots of bugs surrounding dead animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
There'd be a lot more smells of dead rotting stuff. Odors.
I can't remember what you said.
Me?
Mm.
There'd be a lot of dead animals in it.
Okay, so those are our hypotheses. Okay, we're going to flip the page. Yes? Good. So here, by reading these extra parts, you can notice that vor, like we were talking about with in here, we know that's right because it says so right there. Vor means to eat, herbe means plants, carne means meat, omni means all, and detrius, that's how you spell it, means waste. Yeah, these are all Latin words, and a lot of what we use to describe the world around us in sort of general terms rather than specific ones comes from Latin. All right, so flip the page, and we need someone to read this last section. Okay, so what is the important part from this section? We've got the word decomposers, so we could start with that. What are decomposers? Yes.
Decomposers break down the final remains of final remains of fruit and
Okay. So when we talk about remains left behind, what are these remains that are left behind? Yeah.
the uneaten stuff.
So the stuff that's uneaten by the detrivores. What else? There's something else there. Yeah.
That bacteria, fungi break down.
No, before that. The detrivores also leave their own waste. Okay, that is like talking about bodily functions, that kind of waste. Poo. Yeah. Okay, so decomposers, this is what you were getting at over there. Decomposers there are two types of things that tend to be decomposers, and they are, yeah,
Bacteria and fungi.
yeah, bacteria and fungi. Can you think of an example of a fungus? Yes.
Algae and fungus.
I don't think it is, but I'm actually not sure, so maybe we'll look at that. Yes.
For fungi, it could be a mushroom.
Mushrooms. Mushrooms are fungi, which means mushrooms are decomposers. And then bacteria are like the things that make your sandwich rot. That's bacteria. Okay? Mold is a product is produced by bacteria. Okay? So let's get back to what we were talking about over here, because we asked why do we have detrivores, but we could also ask why do we have decomposers. So I'm going to just add that in. And I want you to think in your answer, like we've got a couple of hypotheses, but think about this. Everything on the earth, that's all we've got. So what happens? So we have a plant that grows, and then that plant is eaten by a cow, and then that cow is eaten by a human, and then that human doesn't eat everything of the cow and also eliminates parts of the cow that it does not need. What happens to that stuff? Detrivores and decomposers. What do they do? Like ultimately, what do they do? Yeah. Yeah, but they do something else too. They have let's call it a transformative. I see you leaping up in your chair there. They have a transformative property. Yes.
They when they do their business, it's like a soil, and it's like brings back kind of like the seeds back into the earth, so then the plant can grow again.
Yeah. What's happening? Exactly. It is a huge cycle. So we have plants that grow. They get their energy from the sun. They photosynthesize. They grow. They are eaten. That is eaten in turn, and waste is left behind, whether that's like the bones of the cow or the waste after the cow has passed through another organism. Those things, the waste, like the other bits of the cow, those are eaten by detrivores. All of that waste is processed by decomposers, which turns it into soil and nutrients in the soil, which is then used to grow a new plant. So it's this huge cycle. We have sun to plant, to herbivore, to carnivore, or omnivore, to detrivore, to decomposer, to soil, to plant. Okay? So it ends up being this huge cycle, and that is why we have detrivores and decomposers, is because if we didn't, we would use up the resources that this planet provides, and then there would be no more. It is literally recycling. And it's recycling on a organism sense instead of on a container sense. But this is the thing, like we only have so much. If that gets used up, we aren't going to have any more. This is what we're talking about when we talk about like the gas stuff that's going on now. If we use all of our gas up, they're having trouble finding new sources for the gasoline that drives our cars and provides electricity and does all of these things that we need it to do, or that we have come to need it to do. And there is only so much. And once it is gone, that's it. It takes like thousands of years, millions of years to make fossil fuels. When we use them, and when we use them at the rate that we have been using them, That's it. We're not going to have any more. So we need to find different ways to recycle what we are using, and to find new ways for energy and things like that. Yes?
They have cars that can actually be powered on carbon dioxide now,
Mm-hmm.
but they're hard to find.
Yeah. And they're more expensive because they're new and it's harder to make them. Yes?
Aren't the new, like, the green bin trucks that they use,
Mm-hmm.
don't they use, like, the waste that we put in
Biofuel. Yeah. So this here. This is what we're trying to do with the rest of our world. We're trying to start to figure out a way to use what we leave behind in order to produce what we need, so that instead of taking from and consuming and eliminating the world's resources, we can instead use, recycle, reuse, recycle, and we can keep that cycle going, that cycle that nature has, but that humans have not been so good at following. Questions? Comments? So, this is what you need to read and sticky light, 2.2, 2.4, 2.5, 2.7. You'll have some time to work on it tomorrow.